Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today we're unpacking a source text that, honestly, at first glance, it just looks like a super charming, everyday dialogue between a mom and her 10-year-old son, Ansh. But if we actually look closer at this quick conversation, it reveals some absolutely profound psychology about our subconscious minds. We're going to break down their chat piece by piece to see exactly how a child's natural curiosity leads to this surprisingly deep framework. It really helps us understand why we dream, how our waking thoughts impact us, and what we can actually do to capture the unseen workings of our own minds.
Okay, let's dive into this. The entire framework we're exploring today kicks off with this fundamental, almost Socratic question from young Ansh. He just asks, "Mama, why do I get dreams?" It's that kind of pure, innate curiosity that kids just naturally have, right? Completely unburdened by overthinking. But the thing is, it's a question that philosophers and psychologists have spent literal centuries trying to decode. Why on earth does the mind create these vivid, sometimes chaotic, sometimes beautiful little movies when our bodies are completely shut down for the night?
Mama answers him, and she doesn't just brush it off. She gives him a core psychological premise. She says, the mind is awake always, even when we sleep. And this is an absolutely crucial concept to grasp. Our consciousness doesn't just switch off like a light bulb when our head hits the pillow. Not at all. There's this continuous hum of cognitive activity. It's like a car engine that's always running in the background, processing, sorting, experiencing. And it is exactly that perpetual awakeness of the subconscious mind that gives rise to our dreams.
10-year-old Ansh is pretty sharp, though. He instantly spots a logical gap and fires back with the perfect follow-up question. He says, "If the mind is always awake, why don't I dream every day?" I mean, fair point. If that engine is always running, why isn't the movie playing for us every single morning when we wake up? This is exactly where our source text pivots from basic biology into the really fascinating mechanics of how our daily lives shape our subconscious.
Mama's explanation here is just incredibly insightful. She introduces this concept of daily impacts. She tells Ansh that, well, we don't dream every single day because we aren't always heavily impacted by what we read or think about during our waking hours. Essentially, she's arguing that if you actually experience a significant mental or emotional impact from the inputs of your day, you're going to dream about it. Dreaming in this framework isn't just random static or noise in the brain. It's a direct, measurable reaction to the intensity of our waking thoughts and the information we've been consuming.
And this prompts a really profound realization from Ansh. He asks, can the dreams impact us when we cannot see them or remember them? Seriously, take a second to just think about that question. It is incredibly deep for a 10-year-old. He's essentially asking about the invisible nature of our subconscious. If something happens deep in our mind, but our conscious self doesn't observe it or remember it the next morning, does it still shape who we are? Can the unseen mind actually move the conscious body?
Now, what's really interesting about this is how Mama uses a brilliant physics analogy to answer him. She points out that there are tons of things in the physical world that we cannot see, yet they profoundly impact us every day. She uses invisible forces like ultraviolet and infrared rays as her examples. Think about it. You can't see UV rays with your naked eye, right? But if you've ever spent way too long at the beach without sunscreen, you know for a fact they leave a very real, very physical impact on your skin. She's teaching him this golden rule: invisibility does not equal ineffectiveness.
Ansh immediately grasps this concept of visualizing the unseen, and he grounds it in a highly relatable personal anecdote. He remembers a time he fractured his bone. He tells her, hey, we can't see X-rays either, but when the doctors used them, he was suddenly able to see the hidden reality inside his own body, his broken bone. He totally understands that we need specialized tools to capture the impacts of unseen forces.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core metaphor for our entire explainer. Mama confirms his insight. She says, so it's the impact that is being created is what we see. In this beautiful little exchange, dreams are framed perfectly as the X-rays of the subconscious mind. Just like a medical X-ray lets a doctor look right past the skin to see the underlying structure of a bone, a dream allows our conscious self to look past our waking, everyday distractions to see the underlying impacts our thoughts are having on our psyche.
But of course, Ansh is still a cheeky 10-year-old boy, and he spots a perfect opportunity for a joke. Right when Mama is making this incredibly deep philosophical point, Ansh points out that actually he knows of a dream that created a massive impact: Martin Luther King's famous "I have a dream" speech. It really highlights the fascinating linguistic duality of the word dream, doesn't it? Mama playfully scolds him for being a bit naughty and confusing a subconscious sleep event with an aspirational, world-changing speech, and Ansh just gets a good laugh out of it. It's this wonderful moment of levity that really shows how dynamic and fun learning can be.
After that quick laugh, Mama steers the conversation back to something incredibly practical. She mentions that she actually knows some people who immediately write down the dreams they have right when they wake up. Ansh, ever the eager participant in exploring his own mind, agrees that he could totally do that too. This is the pivot. We're transitioning from just understanding the theory of dreams to actively capturing our subconscious. It's that pivotal moment where passive observation turns into a really actionable habit.
So, the crucial point translates into a super simple 3-step action plan, which serves as the ultimate takeaway from their whole conversation. Step 1. Write them down. You absolutely have to capture that X-ray before it fades away in the morning light. Step 2. Compare them. You want to look for patterns over time. And step 3. Analyze them. By doing this, you are no longer just a passive recipient of your subconscious. You become an active investigator of your own daily impacts. As Mamas explains, it's only when you actually write them down that you can perform this kind of analysis.
Ansh fully agrees to take up this practice. He promises his mom he'll start writing them down and comparing them. And honestly, that brings us directly to you. We've just seen how a 10-year-old kid learned that his unseen thoughts carry immense weight, and that his dreams are quite literally the key to unlocking those hidden impacts. So I want you to ask yourself that exact same question. As your mind stays wide awake tonight, processing all the hidden impacts of your day, what will you write down?